Hi Year 6, we're back with our second RE lesson of lockdown from me, and we are on our second pillar of Islam. This time it is called Salah. First of all, hopefully there's someone there with you at home. I want you to turn to someone at home and say hello. Now try it again. This time stand up, shake their hand and say hello. Now this time do it a third time. This time really mean it. You could even smile or make eye contact as well as shaking their hand. Does it feel different to do something with your speech, with your action and your mind and intention? Do you think that's different from just half-heartedly doing something? I'm pretty sure we could all say that it makes a huge difference how someone does something. If you use your body language, if you use eye contact, it means a lot more to the person on the receiving end and probably to you. Today, we're going to think about how Muslim prayer or Salah involves the whole person, all of these things, our mind, our body and our actions and intentions. Look at this picture here. Firstly, describe what is happening. You can do that verbally with someone at home, or you could write it down if you want to. Secondly, how do you know that this is a special action? What clues are there in the picture? Number 3, how do you think these people are feeling? What do you think? How are they feeling? And number 4, how do you feel about the picture and why? Okay, so that's an introduction to this idea of Salah. We're going to find out a bit more about it as we go along. The second pillar of Islam is Salah or prayer. But what is prayer? What is prayer normally? Talk to someone at home and tell them, what is prayer? If prayer is talking to God or Allah, how might it help a Muslim to find inner peace with Allah? We said that we would be looking over these weeks about how Muslims find peace with Allah through the 5 pillars of Islam and how they feel united as a body of believers called the Ummah. How might prayer help a Muslim find inner peace with Allah? So let's look a bit more at this pillar to see if we can help ourselves with this. Salah is the Arabic word for prayer. Salah involves both words and actions, as we've said. This helps to focus the body and mind on Allah during prayers. Interesting that, isn't it? Because if you let your body do a certain thing, often your mind follows. If you're distracted with your body, if you're fiddling with something maybe in class, your mind will often follow suit and wander. But if our bodies are paying attention to something, then our mind will follow. Muslims pray 5 times a day. Now that's easy to remember because you have 4 fingers and a thumb on your hand. So you can use your hand to remind you that they pray 5 times a day. They follow a special ritual to do so. First, they must wash symbolically in clean water. All the prayers are said at the same time every day. Number 1, at dawn before sunrise. So I think using the sun as an image in our minds will help us remember when Muslims pray. So number 1, before the sun rises at dawn. At midday, after the sun passes its highest. So before it rises and then at its highest. Then the late part of the afternoon. So you could think of that as maybe the time when you would walk home from school, or even slightly later than that when you might be playing with your friends. So let's recap. Before the sun rises, when the sun is at its highest at midday, the late part of the afternoon when the sun is low, just after sunset. Now obviously that varies at different times of the year, doesn't it? So just after sunset, let's recap. before the sun rises at dawn, when the sun is at its highest at midday, in the late part of the afternoon when the sun is lower, and just after sunset when the sun has gone down. Lastly, between sunset and midnight. With that one might be easy to remember because midnight is almost classed as the middle of the night. See if you can tell someone at home. I'm just going to recap it with you one more time and then see if you can tell someone at home the 5 times that Muslims pray. Number 1, at dawn before the sun rises. Number 2, midday when the sun is at its highest. Number 3, in the late part of the afternoon when the sun's coming back down. Number 4, after sunset when the sun has already gone down. And number 5, between sunset and midnight, almost the deepest part of the night. So really, that Muslims pray a lot, don't they? So that might tell us how important it is. So like it said there, all Muslims face the Kaaba in Mecca when they pray. Many prayer mats have a compass on it showing the direction of the Mecca. So let's sum up. Muslims are obliged to pray 5 times a day. That means they are expected to pray as part of their devotion to Allah. They believe that these prayers are very important as they are a direct communication between the worshipper and Allah. The prayers contain verses from the Quran and they are said in Arabic. Muslims will preferably pray with other members of their family or community in a mosque, although they are allowed to pray alone if they wish, or if it is impossible to get to the mosque for prayers. The lady in the video looked like she was praying at work. It looked like she had taken time out to find a quiet space, which does show a level of commitment, doesn't it? Muslims who are unable to pray in the mosque, for example, if they are at work, will find a quiet place to pray and use a prayer mat. Okay, so you have a sheet in your pack which is entitled the 26th of January and Salah. There is a picture of someone performing Salah in the middle. I'd like you to write around that how Muslims show commitment through prayer. Now, we've already talked about that. Think about if you are committed to something, maybe it costs you something. It might cost you time, it might cost you perseverance. So think about these things. How many times do they pray? Is it their duty to pray to Allah, and why? How might praying 5 times each day affect a Muslim's daily life? Put yourself into a Muslim's shoes and imagine how it might affect your life if you prayed every day 5 times at those times. Also, how do you think this affects a Muslim's mind, body, and spirit, them on the inside? Now, one last thing, which you could consider before you write or afterwards as a bit of reflection, is this. Do you think Salah could help Muslims to feel united as part of the Ummah? If you want to add that into your writing, your reasoning behind that, because I'm sure you can reason that one out, then that would be wonderful. So just think about that. Could it make them feel united as part of this global body of believers? Okay, thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing your work.